12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored.
Hip-hop news uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam Ant. Viral hip-hop news. It's a Tuesday and you're in the building with the best, baby. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, episode 164. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What up, everybody out there? We in the building once again. The most, the best, the most undisputed, undefeated, underrated podcast out there. The Uncensored Truth Podcast is back on the airways, man. I just want to say peace to everybody out there that's listening, no matter what platform you're listening on. We do appreciate each and every person that's going to listen to this podcast now, today, or even tomorrow. But yeah, man, we in the building, man, ready to get it in day 2 of the work week, and I can't wait to get to this one, though, Sam, man.
Yeah, indeed, man. We're looking forward to it. It's a dreary day out here in Jersey, man. It's a dreary day. It's going to be not a light one for the Uncensored Truth Podcast today. Not much really going on. But, of course, we're going to make it do for you guys out there listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. And, of course, everybody that watches on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and, of course, the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel.
Yeah.
Oh, God, let's get started, man. So I was going through the crates, everything today. Oh, still got Riz playing. Let me shut that down real quick.
Riz 609.
Shout out to the brother official Uncensored Truth theme song. We're gonna get a video for that, man. That shit's fire. But we'll get that going. Anyway, going through the records, looking through for content today, and I seen this. I came across this. Is courtesy of Comedy Hype. Shout out to them brothers over there doing their thing over there. Go check out their YouTube channel. But he had Carl Anthony Payne up. He of course played Cole and Martin, the legendary TV series. Of course, he also played Cockroach. I don't know if you remember the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
He had a couple of other different acting jobs throughout his life, but notably, he's, of course, iconically known for Martin. Mm-hmm. He's on tour right now doing his comedy. He was asked a question about Thomas Ford, of course, Tommy's legendary role and his unfortunate passing. I wanted to play this, man, and give discussion on this. I'm going to play this right now, like I said, courtesy of Comedy Hype. Let's go.
Not to get into it because it's a sensitive subject for me, but I got a call, Tommy and I, we spoke daily, if not daily, every other day. He was really a true friend. He was a good friend, and he was going through knee surgery. He had knee surgery at the time, and he was going through rehab. And I just spoke to him. I was like, yo, because I was like, no, you call somebody, they'll call you back. Hey, nigga, I called you, nigga. Pick up the phone, nigga. I hit him with that. And he was like, man, I'm going through this knee surgery and da-da-da. He's like, I'm going through rehab. And that's the thing, too, because I seen it on his, Instagram page or social media page. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I'm going to be there next week, whatever. And he was like, all right. And after that, I got a call from Tashina. Tashina had me like, hey, you spoke to Tommy. You heard about Tommy? I was like, yeah, he hurt his knee. He in rehab. She was like, no. She was like, nah, he's not doing well. You got to get down here. And I was like, what you mean? And she was like, you got to come. He something happened and he might not make it through the night. And I was like, stop. Like, you playing. Like, I just, like how shit be surreal? I was like, I just talked to him when he was like, no, like, you playing with me right now, right? She's like, no, Carl, for real. She's like, I just got off the phone. And I was like, okay. So I went and I immediately tried to book a ticket, but it was too late in the day. Their last flight was leaving already, right? So I had to catch the 5 o'clock in the morning flight. And I went straight to the hospital. And it was crazy because I seen my man laying there, man, with the... it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really want to see him like that. It was just like, it was so surreal because he was so full of life, And I think when these
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there, man. We obviously got the emotion from Carl Payne.
Right.
If you want to get the rest of the interview, go down to the description box right now. Like I said, I'll link it out to Comedy Hype. Shout out to that brother. But yeah, man, we remember this show. Iconic show, Martin. We remember when Carl Anthony Payne and Martin themselves, we found out that they were beefing behind the scenes and things weren't really all that they were cracked up to be as much as we would think. And then we remember the passing of Thomas Ford and never really got anybody's perspective. I mean, I think we heard from Tashina Arnold and what's her name? Why am I bugging right now?
Tisha Campbell.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But never any of the fellas. So what do you think about this?
As far as like, you mean like the show, I guess, breaking down or whatever, not or the reboot. As far as,
I mean, the reboot, I guess we can get to that. But what do you think about Carl Anthony Payne and just showing? What do you just think about the passing and just the show in general,
right?
And how close that you thought they were, and then ended up being not close, and then hearing his words and
yeah, I mean, it seemed like, you know, to me that they, you know, that he was hurt, you know what I mean, by him, you know, leaving, and that how so suddenly he can go from, you know, I mean, being vibrant and alive to just dying, you know, being on his deathbed. So, you know, I know there was issues with him and Martin, you know what I mean, as far as, you know, him feeling like that he was maybe stagnated a certain way by, I don't, you know, y'all could find the audio, you know, and find that's out there on YouTube right now. But I don't know. I know growing up, man, like that was a show that got us like pretty much through life. Like that was a part of our regular routine. I think it was Thursday night. It probably came on, right?
I think so.
Maybe
Yeah,
Thursday night, UPN, one of them joints. Yeah, and it was like, yeah. I know it bounced through a few stations or whatever, probably over the time. But yeah, I mean, so to see this now and to see it definitely hurts a little bit. But I can't say that I'm that attached, you know what I mean, to that particular character.
What do you think about this? Because anytime we look at him now, we'll always think of Cole. And he's doing stand-up now. And I was listening to a little bit of the interview that he had on this podcast, or not on the podcast, excuse me, on the channel.
Right.
And he was saying that he will forever be known for that. And he'll never have a voice. Like all of the questions that were being asked were all about Martin, things like that. No one really cared about Carl Payne, the character. Is it a gift or a curse? Because, like I said, he'll go down in history. But then he'll go down in history, never really having a name, always being Cole. Well, that seems to be bothered by that.
I mean, I'm not going to say, obviously, it's a gift, but only you can make it not be a curse. Because, you know, make sure that you know, put yourself in position to do the roles where you're remembered for other things besides being Cole or Martin. You know what I mean? The funny guy or whatever who was semi-slow but funny, you know.
I mean, but you have some. I mean, black folk don't let us get up. We don't get. We got Urkel. Is Jaleel White ever going to be able to do anything outside of Urkel? Is Laura ever going to be anybody outside of Laura? Like,
I mean, but it has though. You have people
Will Smith has just graduated,
right? Some people do, but it's just like everybody is not a Will Smith. Everybody's not Michael Jordan.
Or
you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Everybody's not these superstar, you know, whatever in their fields to transcend these different levels. It just is what it is. Some people, you know, I can't remember him in anything else besides that, nor do I really want to. Now, not to say that he couldn't go do a dope role, you know what I mean, in a movie or something, but I mean, I haven't seen it. Have you?
He's a very talented brother.
Well, have you seen him in any movie though?
Not that I could sit back and remember. Right. I remember he's been in movies, obviously.
Definitely talented, yeah.
Talented, and he seems bothered by it, which I can understand, but it's like, man, would you rather be known for nothing or known for being one of the greatest shows of all time and playing a major role in that? Like if they had a reboot, we were saying all of them had to be involved. It wouldn't have been the same if all of them weren't involved. When Tisha Campbell went through her drama with Martin and they started doing them episodes toward the back end, and they just weren't the fucking same.
They had her out of all the scenes.
And all that. It was corny. It wasn't the same. So he definitely played his role. I can understand that, but man, I don't know if it's his fault or because, like you said, you got your A-list and your B-list, but those A-list are very few. Like they had the name of the show. Martin had a career prior to that. He had major movies and things like that. Will had that. They were the major headlines. When you talk about these incredible, I guess, assistants or accents to the show, like your Pam, your Tisha Arnold.
Yeah, it all came. The best way to explain it is kind of like, Martin's the star of the show, but every other aspect was needed as well. So it's just like kind of like a team. Now, once you start trying to substitute, and it messes it all up. They came in together, so you kind of wanted to see them stay together the whole time and not, you know, drop this person off or drop that person off. So, you know, but it's clearly Martin's show. He's like the quarterback. You know what I mean? He's the Tom Brady, you know, of the show. He's gonna make the thing go. When somebody else in there, it's just not going to run like it's going to run. It is what it is.
You know, I was thinking about Fresh Prince and the old Aunt Viv versus the new Aunt Viv, and a lot of people were saying we don't even. It's only one Aunt Bev. We only look at one Aunt Bev. Did the show lose something to you when the second Aunt Bev came up? Because honestly, in my opinion, it did, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, as I was getting to the same thing. Like, yeah, it did, but they did a very good job. You know what I mean? That the actress that came in did a very good job of kind of easing that pain of how it could have been, real rough for that transition to happen. But I still watched it, and still I don't think it took away from the show at all. I'm just being honest.
Nah, I mean, I don't know if that was season 2 or 3, so the show was still young, but it was hot. Will Smith was dropping a damn bomb every summer in great movies and things like that. Will Weekend or whatever like that.
Right.
And it was definitely a hit. We were looking like, damn, where's Aunt Bev at? But I don't think it took away with it. Not the way Martin and Gina took away. The chemistry was just so crazy. And I don't know if to blame that on writers. Martin was going through his shit during that time. He was going through a divorce. He was going through his crazy, that moment. We all remember that. So it was a whole lot of things going into that. But we had some great TV shows, man, and sitcoms back then that we just don't have now.
What happened to them, though, Sam, man? Let's talk about that real quick. Like, what happened to those, even though we talked about this before, but like you had like your Family Matters, these core like shows, the Cosby Show, that kind of showed us in a light to whereas it was like you could sit down with your family and not have to worry about seeing nothing crazy or hearing nothing crazy. It was just family stuff. It was core lessons in there. He messes up, he gets into something, his dad comes in, you know what I mean? Just they had that family structure. The pop was successful. They were black men, and mom was successful. She was a lawyer,
right? Whatever.
Now it's this person punching this person sleeping with this person's man, this person's a hooker, this person's a stripper, he's a drug dealer, he's this. Meek Mill put something on his Instagram saying, look, man, is we millionaires or crime bosses? You know what I mean? So it's just like, what happened to these shows, Sam, man? Do you think this was a constructed effort to dumb down the masses with the programming, or would you say it's a reflection of the people just becoming more and more savage over time?
Nah, it's programming. It's 1,000% programming. You got to blame it on that. And I mean, you could sit back and go to family and what they allow their children to listen to and watch and things like that. But it's easy. What do we do during our time as a child? We played outside. We did our thing. We ate dinner at a certain time. And once the sun went down, we watched TV as a family. And we weren't allowed to watch any nonsense. Our grandma and grandpa was watching shit that they wanted to watch. And sometimes we watched boring stuff, but we couldn't wait for those good days to watch the good shows.
Right.
Because they watched the Fresh Prince. They watched the Family Matters. We seen the Martins and things like that. So we got to enjoy that. So we got to watch just empowerment and love and things like that. And it's programmed in our head. It gave us a certain level of pride. Whereas in today's age, it's so dumbed down and everything is so fast. And everything is so quick moving. Like I said, you got, we were talking about the pre-production, people who find themselves having Instagram success. Well, people are only looking at you for 60 seconds worth of time. And once you start wanting to promote something bigger or a product that gives them more to look at, they don't care because all they're used to and accustomed to is that little bit of moment in time that you're giving them. And we just lost just the whole family dynamic. I mean, it goes a whole different amount of ways. We don't sit together and watch family. Can you remember a time when you sat together with the family and watched 2 hours worth of television and didn't go and get on the phone or didn't go and do this or didn't go and do that? We don't do that anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, you can blame a different number of things.
Yeah, that's also, assessment of that. Definitely, man. But you tuned in to the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sam, man. Going in today on this Tuesday, I want to talk about Amazon real quick, just to add to this. Amazon recently announced they're offering employees $10,000 if they quit their job and start their own delivery service. Now, along with giving the employee $10,000, Amazon would give the employees 3 months gross salary to deliver packages for Amazon. A spokesperson for the company said the service program was already being set up by their continued investment in our delivery service partner network aids. Our ability to deliver to consumers faster. If a delivery service owner is running 20 to 30 delivery vans, they can possibly net $75,000 to $300,000 in profit, according to Amazon. So essentially, Amazon is paying people, their employees first, to start their own companies, man, and giving them money to do it. Because as I don't know if everybody that's watching this, you're seeing the Prime vans all over.
Yeah.
I just ordered from Amazon they are now trying to compete with the Postal Service, UPS. But when you think about this, though, Sam, man, amazing.
It's huge. What do we talk about, man? When we became entrepreneurs, and when we before that, when we were aspiring entrepreneurs, but we were sitting in the work world doing 9 to 5. One of our biggest gripes were just employee appreciation, and how the manager really didn't appreciate us enough, didn't put value on that. We both had jobs where we were 100%, 100,000% undervalued, underappreciated, and that wore on us. That made us kind of gripe and go just a little less hard than we could have went at that job, and performance went down. There's no doubt about it. You could have went hard. I could have went hard. It could have been better. Imagine being bonus incentive where you can go and get this, or this is going on to you can get this amount of time, or it's a lot more freedom involved, and it makes you inspired to go to work. Amazon sees the bigger picture, and they're putting their money where their mouth is, giving people opportunities to go to work and be happy. Right. Which your employees have to have the right morale. So if they're excited about what they're doing, and then they're telling this person, you're going to slowly suck everybody else dry, like they did Toys R Us, like they're doing Best Buy. Right. And now they're seeming to do it to the Postal Service, FedEx, UPS. We've seen the FedEx dude just drop something off a couple of minutes ago. He was stressed the fuck out. So, I mean, Amazon's doing great things right now.
Yeah, it's big. And it's like a lot of criticism that other companies would get. Like, you got bigger companies out there like Walmart. They don't, pass down, the benefits. Even Uber, a lot of people are complaining about Uber drivers now. They were saying that the CEO made like $175 million, and employees can, barely put food on their table. So it's just like a lot of your big companies don't, redistribute the wealth is the proper term that they're making. You got billion-dollar companies, trillion-dollar companies, Apple should be, not to say that they aren't distributing the wealth all the way down to the damn janitor, the person that cleans up gum off the sidewalk, should be compensated well. And it'll reflect, like you said, with the morale of the company. So it sounds real great. If I was working for Amazon, they give you an opportunity to start a business. Like, this is huge, man. Like not, it's you're contracting, but this is your own business on paperwork. And you're making $75,000 to $300,000 per year. I mean, that's great.
It's great for the economy. It's great for morale. Yeah, it's what we need to see out here. It's inspiring like a motherfucker. And you still have a market for UPS and FedEx. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, especially when you got as many numbers of online deliveries. Not everyone buys through Amazon, not yet. Right. So when you buy outside of Amazon, you still need your stuff delivered. These people will start being able to, still service them people. But when it comes to employing motherfuckers, and you got a place over here flourishing, you better start taking care of your people a little better, or sooner than later, you will go out of business. That just is what it is. That was a great segment, man, for sure. Shout out to Amazon. Yeah, indeed. And you were talking about Uber. We've seen Beyonce. We don't know if that's 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that's confirmed because I know how crazy those investments are. $300 million this year, or she's making a year off of Uber investments alone. Oh, God. Wow. What do you think about that, man? We're talking about this wealth and growing wealth and abundance and things like that. And 300 million just.
I think it's amazing when I see, people like Jay-Z, Beyonce, especially just to start with Jay-Z and even Beyonce, when we kind of started seeing them at the inception of their career when they were younger and they were with different groups and Jay-Z with Rockefeller, to see them now 10, 15 years later, they're senior, more years down the road, it's just like, it's amazing to see that both of them are now worth $1 billion. They could have never, I bet you they could have never imagined. We could have never imagined that somebody from even hip hop, it's taken a while for somebody to be a billionaire. So I have to just salute, her, people like, I forgot who they talking about the other day, Drake. Even Drake is making some real great investments, has some real great businesses on the side. So, it's encouraging, man. For me, it's just like, it's the sky's the limit. Cause I'm like, if they can do it, we can also do it. You know what I'm saying? Because, we feel like, we're that upper echelon of people, who could do whatever we want to do in whatever field we want to do it. And we think we've proven it now. So shout out to Beyonce and the whole team. And it's just inspirational to me.
Let me just read something to you, how nasty this flip is right here. Beyonce performed for Uber in 2015, and instead of accepting her $6 million pay cachet, she requested to be paid in stocks. Today, it is over $300 million. And it's worth, over $300 million. Now, last year, she took half of the $8 million from Coachella In exchange for the rights to the show, Netflix paid her $60 million. So she flipped $8 million to $60 million and $6 million to $300 million.
And here's my thing about
money
it.
Making money.
It's like people like that. It's like we want to talk to those type of people on our platform. We want to know how you did that.
Not the bullshit.
Yeah, this is what we want. We want to talk to Jay-Z and say, how the hell do you go from a company called Rockefeller with 3 business owners to now being a billionaire? Like what? Because everybody don't hear those stories.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have this documented in our lifetime. So, we're going to be there one day, man. We're going to be there where we're sitting down having a conversation with the moguls and the movers and the shakers, the real moguls and movers and shakers in hip hop, so they can pass that knowledge down. You know what I mean? To people like us, man. And people need to hear that.
Step by step, brick by brick. You see, not a lot of people are going into libraries anymore, so they're going to need a way to have to library this content.
Yes, sir.
It's so much bullshit being thrown around in your waves when we're sitting here looking for content, because we're obviously hip hop reporters and
yes, sir.
We're journalists and we report the news. And when it's dry and it's whack, and you look at, because we're not gonna report anything. There's a ton of shit out there.
Yeah.
But when you're going through, it's like, damn, what's anything worth substance out here to speak about today? It's not a lot. So this stuff is needed.
Yeah,
because this conversation people are going to look for. There's entrepreneurs out here that want to be and aspire to be, that are at a 9-to-5 job, that don't want to be there, but they just don't know how.
Right.
If I can attest to this 100%, and I often say this story and can't wait to tell it the further our book gets written. If it wasn't for you coming over here and telling me about the plan and just giving me a little bit of a door to open up, man, I can only imagine. So to have that being able to be paid for, and to have library and have it, you know what I mean, documented, it's worth its weight in gold, man. It needs to happen.
Yeah, and that's what we need, man. We need more, entrepreneurs in our community, period. That's all we need. We don't need more people going to college and going into the work system and all that. No, we need to build our own. If you're a lawyer, get your own law firm. If you're a doctor, get your own practice. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, do it on your own. You got people like Beyonce, that kind of came from a music background, but Jay-Z and all these people flip just music, making music into other, stocks, bonds. Now they got $1 million paintings on the wall and stuff like that. It's inspirational, for everybody out there. And I ain't gonna say everybody, for most people it's inspirational. Some people hate on that, but shout out to Beyonce and Jay for doing their thing, man. It's
yeah,
crazy.
you're gonna. I don't know if we'll post this on YouTube, or people on iTunes, Spotify will get the chance to check it out, listen to it. Appreciate y'all. But in the comment section, you'll hear, Beyonce sold her soul, and Jay-Z did this and this and that and all this and all this and all this, and just chalk it up to the fact that these motherfuckers really put in some real work.
Yep.
And whether you like their music, or whether you like what they did, or whether what you chose to believe what you heard on YouTube at the time it was hot,
People
they
think
winning
it's
out
easy.
here,
People
man.
think that, okay, I can sell my soul, give me my 300 million. Come
Please.
on, man. It don't just happen like that. You got to work.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, to get in these positions to make this money. Nobody's just going to give you money for signing it. Come on, man. Stop it, people.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm
people
saying?
now they're gonna say we doing it with our success, and we brick and mortar.
Hey, man.
They don't know what's going on. There's probably some devils walking around behind the cameras. It's us.
Illuminati.
Oh boy,
Got my mind, soul, and my body.
there it is.
Secret society.
There's some old pictures of us throwing up diamond signs. They can get us out here, man.
Yeah, I mean,
They start ripping stuff up.
that day is
sold their
over now,
soul,
man.
man.
That Illuminati, that
That's
stuff
so
is so dead.
2006.
I know, right?
Come on, man.
Crazy, man. But yeah, man, Understand the True podcast. We going in today, man. We want to say, give appreciation to everybody who listens to the podcast. We got listeners from all over, all different states, countries, and everything. We do appreciate you listening in. I know we don't say that a lot, but we do, mean that from the bottom of our heart. Now, Sam Matt, you said Kellen Winslow is facing life in prison.
Man, oh God, you remember Kellen Winslow, Miami
Yes, sir.
Hurricanes tight end, 5th pick of the NFL draft, I believe in 06 or 07. He went to the Browns. Man, this shit's pretty vile, man. Let me read this now. He will stand trial this week on 2 counts of kidnapping with the intent to commit rape, 2 counts of forcible rape, 2 counts of residential burglary, 1 count of forcible oral compilation, 1 count of forcible sodomy, and 1 count of indecent exposure, according to Yahoo Sports. Now he faces a cumulative sentence that will put him away for life. Here are the gruesome details. Now, in addition to the charges that he raped 2 homeless women last year, Winslow also has been accused of raping an unconscious 17-year-old girl back in 03 when Winslow was 19. Winslow pleaded not guilty to all those charges last year, but while he was out on $2 million bail, he was arrested again for lewd conduct. In that incident, which took place earlier this year, Winslow is accused of touching himself in front of a 77-year-old woman at a gym and asking if she liked it. Additionally, now the disturbing report states that Winslow also touched the woman's arm and foot while they were in a hot tub at the gym 9 days after the first incident he had been locked up for ever since. Oh God, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I mean, if those allegations, are indeed what they say they are, sounds like that he has a problem.
Facts.
You know what I mean? A real serious problem that he needs, probably to be locked up for, for sexual assault on people that they said, and, give him some type of treatment for whatever mental illness that has him doing those sick, lewd acts, on people and whatnot. I think it's, obviously it's mental. It's just crazy to hear that somebody that we grew up watching, maybe it's that what's that CTE? So I don't know, the concussion syndrome.
Yeah, I don't know. He's NFL royalty. Kellen Winslow Sr. is a Hall of Famer for the San Diego Chargers at the time, and he was always bred to be in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He had the potential to be a Hall of Famer, starting with the Browns, and then I believe he went to the Giants, or maybe he went to the Chargers. I'm not sure. They'll let me know in the comment section. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like something was always holding him back, and he really had a mental issue that he was dealing with. Now, whether he didn't get the proper help, they said his first one that they got recorded was allegedly when he was 19. And then it went from there. He's 35. He's our age. So,
right.
Damn, man, I don't know if he deserves life. He definitely deserves some kind of time. If any of these are true, can't be doing wild shit like that. You need to go get yourself some help. And
yeah,
that's just another sad story. One too many, man. I wish we had better NFL stories, but a lot of these go down this road.
Yes, sir.
For some reason, the money, the fame, the women, everything thrown at you, and nobody ever told you how to properly be a man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely, man. So we will keep you updated if there's another update on that situation. I think that's the second time we talked about that. It seems like more and more things continue to be piled on, for Kellen Winslow. But I got this story right here saying, man, I don't know if you've seen this one earlier, but the Coca-Cola hair, I'm not sure how to say his first name, but his last name is David, pretty much was found in St. Kitts and pretty much discovered to have $1.3 million worth of marijuana on his private jet. Now, obviously, he's a billionaire. He was arrested by customs, who found 5,000 cannabis plants on a private plane, along with other cannabis product. David was charged with importation of controlled drug into Federation, intent to supply, possession of controlled drugs. David was reportedly released after posting $30,000 cash bail. He is sentenced to appear in court May 14th. Damn, that's all he had was $30,000 bail for $1.3 million worth of bud. That's crazy.
Where is that?
That's crazy. St. Kitts. That's Virgin Islands, maybe.
Should have left that motherfucker alone for $30,000.
Man, that's crazy. But yeah, that's Coca-Cola hair. So obviously connected to the Coca-Cola, foundation. Pretty crazy. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna say what I say about all marijuana charges. I think that they're crazy and they need to be thrown out. That was his money. That was his business. He needed to be cool and be let go. He had a plant. But that being said, I'm a black man.
What about Rollo?
Exactly. And I'm not going to sit back and play this man to air Coca-Cola's innocence while Rollo sits in jail for damn near the same thing. And Rollo in Atlanta, and that's why I asked you where this was, did not get out on $30,000 bail. In fact, he still sits behind bars as we speak for this. And we heard representation and people saying and people close to Rollo laughing it off, saying that he'll be out soon based off of him not having anything. But there's definitely a double standard when it comes to who has marijuana and who it is and all that.
Yeah, $1.3 million on a jet.
That's a lot of.
It was like weed. How much was Rollo? Was probably not even that much. Close to maybe about the same. And it was on a jet, same exact thing.
Yeah, probably about the same.
Yeah, so that's wild.
Wow.
Yes, sir. So that is kind of what it is, man. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God and Sandman, going in today on this Tuesday. Make sure you tune in Friday night, 8 p.m. If you want to catch us live on the Uncensored Truth podcast channel right on YouTube. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Friday. Make sure you check us out there.
Oh God, man, before we get up out of here, I don't know if you saw that picture. Matter of fact, I sent it to your future.
Oh, yeah.
And it's his baby's holding up the money, man. Now, he's taking a lot of slack for this, and I wanted to talk about it, but I wanted to be careful because these are pictures of his babies, man. But you saw it, people up on the screen. If we choose to drop this on YouTube, they see it up there now. What do you think about this, man? Does he deserve to take flat for it? DJ Quick said one of the greatest DJs of all time. unacceptable, man. It's uncalled for. You don't throw this up here. It's a bad example. A lot of people throwing jabs as far as Sierra and Russell.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in my opinion, but you got to remember, you got people all across America that they have parents who that raise them a certain way. That you got little kids. I seen kids twerking, doing all types of stuff. Kids smoking, whatever, drinking and stuff like that. Little kids, just like the age of his son, doing all types of stuff. So it's just like it's not surprising to see somebody like Future that would do something like that. Now we have been very critical of him because he pretty much promoted, stuff that's killing people by the millions in this country. He promoted it widespread, and then wasn't even man enough when he stopped using to come out and tell the people that he stopped using it at the end of the day. So, I'm not surprised by this, man. So I think the criticism is definitely due for Future, and I don't know when that dude's gonna learn. To me, I really don't rock with Future like that, man. I had nothing against his music and all like that, but I just don't like what he represents.
Yeah, man. As far as his kids are concerned, this is the thing that bothers me about this, because we got to do the commentary. We're going to do the commentary. We got it is what it is. But kids ain't none of our business. Now, how you raise your children is none of our business. But in this day and age with social media and everybody's out here looking for some kind of notoriety or somebody wanting to be jealous of this or that, they post every fucking thing. And a situation where we shouldn't even be talking about it. We're talking about it because he needed that notoriety. And man, like you said, when will people learn now? We've been critical of Future before in the past. I think it was justifiably so when he was perpetuating to the children. And when you seen the enormous amount of people and young children dying from this, and you look at the young crop of rappers right now going through what they're going through, dealing with this addiction, primarily because of listening. I mean, let's call it for what it is. Not just only him,
right.
but he was one of the
history,
pioneer of it. So, or one of the driving forces, not pioneer.
Right.
I mean, I just feel like throughout this time, you would see the error of your ways and just evolve a little bit. It doesn't seem like he's doing so. It seems like he's cool where he's at. I mean, like you said, people, they raised the way they were raised. They're going to do what they do.
Yeah, and
just, you will wish that they would evolve and do better at that point. I mean,
yeah, because like what Jay said, it's like whatever the message is, people got real money, not really showing it like that. Obviously, I'm not saying he's obviously a millionaire, but you don't see prominent billionaires. They got all the money in the world. You don't see them doing stuff like this. So
what a Rothschild look like. You know what a Rockefeller look like. You know what their kids look like.
Nah,
not a damn soul.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Again, this is I think his son. There.
Yeah, there's two boys that look like.
Yeah, just having fun as kids, but they don't know no better. But whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast is in the books. Like I said, make sure y'all tune in on Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on the way out of here blazing to the tunes of my man Red 609. Make sure you check him out on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play. I love my Truth Uncensored, man. Another episode in the book, Sam, man. We out of here, man.
We out of here, man. See you Thursday and, of course, Friday live exclusively on the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel. You make sure you stay tuned to the network. We got big news coming your way soon. Yeah. You never know what you're going to expect from the brothers over here from Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored. Together, we are the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Yeah. You're now tuned into the...
You already know. We out of here.
Peace.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Peace.
I like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. You're now tuned into the greatest. Motherfucker, you ain't never lie. If them people watching us like YouTube, then tell them motherfuckers